William Berczy played a significant role in the development of Toronto during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. His contributions to the city are commemorated through a series of landmarks named in his honor, including a park that stretches over 3,600 square meters located behind the historic Gooderham building on Wellington Street in downtown Toronto. A redesign of Berczy Park created by landscape architecture firm CCXA has not only rejuvenated the area, but has also brought the community together with whimsical designs, creating a sense of belonging and connection. Tasked with weighing regular input from a number of community groups throughout the design process, the park expertly balances the many expectations for the space and has evolved into a vibrant hub of activity that welcomes nearby residents, tourists, and families throughout the day. Marc and the late Claude Cormier played an integral role in the redesigning of Berczy Park, from initial detailed plans that transformed the park into the functional and beautiful space it is today.
Welcome to Berczy Park. As you can see, it's the heart of the neighborhood. We're in the old town of Toronto. And if you look at archive photos, the old town was pretty extraordinary. When the Gardiner Expressway was built in the 60s, everybody moved to the suburbs. And the neighborhood went from being living, working, and recreating to just kind of working. And in the 70s, the city had a really fantastic idea, and they decided to do housing and bring people back downtown. And the park in 1980 was transformed into the first incarnation of Berczy Park. And it was a simple park with trees, grass, and also this amazing piece of public art by Derek Besant in 1980. If you look around us now, more than 50% residential now in this neighborhood. And you have people here now at all hours of the day, and there's pulses of action. The program are overlapping. So about 2013, the city decided to put an RFP to do the park, and we were lucky to have gotten the contract. And we were able to take the park scope and bring it out to the street curbs. The BIA wanted to keep their postcard park. They wanted the Flatiron signature. They wanted something that everybody would take pictures of. People would come, hang out in the park, and go to the restaurants or go shopping or make it a destination. The families wanted a children's park. They wanted a playground. The pet owners wanted a dog park. So how do you do that? And that's what led to the inspiration of this object. So you have a signature. I would say it's probably one of the most photographed moments in Toronto. For children, if you come here at any time, you see children playing, sitting on the animals, playing with the water. It became also a play feature. And then for the dogs, there's a trough of water at the base of the pool with fresh water that comes and goes and refreshes regularly. So you have these sculptures of dogs, and you have real dogs kind of mixing, and it adds to the surreal moment that even makes it more interesting. But also, it's a small park, but we wanted the park to feel big. So in addition to bringing the park to the street curbs and beyond, we also put desire lines that took the longest routes, the diagonals through. So from that corner, shortcut to the financial district over there, it's the longest route in the park. It makes the park feel really big. And then as for the grading, we wanted to have these small mounds that you could see over, so you're safe, but at the same time, about the height of a car, so it hides the traffic from the streets and you feel kind of buffered in from the traffic. So all the storm water that falls on the park drains towards the street and is captured and diverted to the trees. So all the rainwater is used to irrigate the trees in the park. The context is very rich. The facade of the buildings, the towers around us, the neighborhood itself, it's really, really rich. So we want to create sort of a simplicity in the design as well, but also some details that also make you feel that this is someplace special. We worked with a fantastic fountain designer who's actually based in Toronto, but he's done some of the most famous fountains in the world. He chose the dogs that were most universally loved. And then with that, we found a local studio in Toronto that was able to paint the dogs to be realistic in their finish. And then the second challenge is, how are we gonna plumb these so you don't see clumsy plumbing? And so with the fountain designer, we were able to discreetly locate a hatch inside the throat of each dog where all the fittings are held to give this kind of depth. And then the bone, which relates to the financial district, where everybody's looking at their nest egg, working towards their future or towards their golden bone. But not everybody loves dogs. So there's one community member who said, well, I don't like dogs, what about me? I like cats. And then we said, okay, well, for you, we'll put a cat. We have 2 cats. And this kind of the story behind that is the cat that was first made was too big. It was a tomcat. So we found another place for that one on top of the electrical panel, the mirror box. But also, you know how the dogs are looking at their object of desire, the gold bone? Well, the cat has one too. Two birds on that light stand over there. So if you look where the cat is looking, follow its gaze, and you'll see the two birds that the cat is wanting to look at as well. When you're doing the project, you never really know how it's going to be received until the park opens. But even before, this one was special. Because during the construction process, there was a construction fence. And you don't often see this much positive expression in Toronto. But people were yelling through the fence, "We love it! It's gorgeous! It's nicer than what you see in Paris!" As the fountain was coming together, people were getting really excited. So that was a good sign. If you come here any time when a nice day in the summertime when the fountain's running, the park is always full of people. And for me, that's the sign that it's been adopted by the community, by the neighborhood, and people love it. And that's a sign of approval that it's working.